Per usual, living on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. It's Wednesday. Let's take a look at some altcoins. And I come to you again this week with maybe not the most bullish picture, but from a glass half full perspective. I just think of it as the next upcoming move should be fairly obvious, much more obvious than whatever's going on now. Lots of chop all over the board. I've got alts that are mixed across the board against USD and fairly bearish still against BTC. BTC itself here, everybody, it's the Rorschach test. Everybody's going to see what they want to see. But the pattern people will tell you this is a triangle. The other pattern people are going to tell you this is an M double top. The cloud people, such as myself, are going to tell you we're probably headed for a mean reversion attempt, which would be a move to 58. The Wyckoff people may tell you very bearish things up here below 50. This triangle would measure to the downside, basically to the yearly pivot. It makes sense if we lose 62.7 on the yearly pivot, 52.5 is possible. The cloud likes 58. If this is a bullish continuation, we should easily reach 80.7. So in the next couple weeks, we should know, should we survive this consolidation, at least in a neutral fashion. Now the TK lines are going to catch up with price here, as the Tenkan already has, with price below the Tenkan. And much like into February, we had that TK cross. That's going to be the next thing to watch for. Do we get a bearish TK cross, which we most likely will? And then is price holding above cloud support, or is it in the cloud? And at that point, we can get even more bearish. But let's say today, if we were to drop, 58 would be the level. The longer we hold up here, the more we are likely to try to roll over. That's one way to think of it. We might even get a B-band squeeze out of this, which should be fairly obvious on the daily. So all this is setting up for the alt picture, which, yeah, XYZ alt can have a 50% day here and there, but if Bitcoin retraces to 58 or to 50, then alts are going to get demolished. So if that is the case, again, you don't want to be one of these people who says, I should have done XYZ, I should have taken some off the table, I should have had some dry powder just in case. Not that I'm trying to tell people what to do here, but in my specific case, that's how I'm positioned. So I wouldn't think this is clearly bullish or clearly bearish. I think this is attempting to reset. ETF flows have been mixed as well. Barely positive, barely negative. We've got the US government selling BTC from Silk Road. We've got tax season. We've got liquidity in the legacy side tightening up. We've got energy rising. We've got S&P looking tired and NASDAQ. So there's a lot of reasons why we're slowing down here, and things will probably clear up after April 15th, which is the US tax day. Total 2 versus stablecoins continues to make sense and look good. USDT and USDC issuance, circulating supply at an all-time high. The technicals on Total 2 still look fine. I think it would be $1 trillion would be the support there. Also an M double top type behavior. So none of this looks bullish outright, like we need more evidence here to decide what's going on. But I do like stablecoin issuance continuing to skyrocket. That should help support the liquidity picture. Total 2 against BTC, I talked about this yesterday, but still holds a death cross since pre-2023. When that changes, we can talk about alts. I'm happy to allocate into alts, but I don't think that's going to change anytime super soon. We will see. We'll play it week by week, but this is not a bullish picture on moving averages, and the 3-day cloud is also challenging any bullish recovery here. So for me, I'm in no rush whatsoever to go deep into altcoins. And here's dominance, which continues to look, Bitcoin dominance specifically, continues to look bullish. So dominance could go to 60, dominance could go to 70. That would be very interesting if that were to be the case. It would be tough to go to 70 these days, I think, just because there's so much garbage out there in the top whatever against dominance. But 60 seems very reasonable. Before I go into some individual alts, let me mention today's video sponsor, Kraken Pro. Kraken Pro is a complete overhaul of the Kraken trading experience with a one-stop shop for advanced and professional traders. Kraken Pro enables efficient trading execution across multiple markets with a UI that allows for unique optimization tailored to your trading style. you can check out Kraken Pro with the link in the description of this video. Non-investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss. Cryptocurrency services are provided to U.S. and U.S. territory customers by Payward Ventures Inc., PVI, DBA, Kraken. One other thing that's nice about Kraken Pro is even without an account, you can pull this up. You can use it as your additional trading view effectively, but you can pull this up, make notes on any chart, and it'll save all that history. This is PaxG just continuing to mock me. The gold stablecoin looks very good. Looks very good still. Nice breakout on that. As far as everything across the board against Bitcoin, not too much is positive once again today. A few things here and there. Monero has been positive for the past couple days, but like a lot of these alts, we're talking at all-time lows-ish for some of these, or multi-month lows. So it's really a very tough decision for me on the bullish side, because it just doesn't make sense to want to step into that. Now, ETH-BTC has flirted with a breakdown below 050, which is a massive psychological support. It makes sense that it's challenging to break that level here. What you don't want to see if you are bullish ETH would be a slow, continuous drift below 050. And I always go to this because this is a great example. Zcash, if you want to look at something that just has a continuous bleed against Bitcoin, look no further than this thing that just continues to push all-time lows week after week after week. So the single most bearish thing would be just no emotion, just giving it up, right? Just nobody cares. Nobody cares. There's nobody left to care, right? So that's what you don't want to see on ETH-BTC here breaking 050. For most of these charts, I'm going to have the USD pair on the left, the BTC pair on the right. The left will be the daily, the right will be the weekly, and you'll just see that trend is not in your favor for most of these charts against Bitcoin outright. And for a lot of these charts on the USD pair, they certainly look much more bearish than even Bitcoin does up here. For ETH, you have a pending bearish TK cross telling you to get out of anything you got in from 2300. You've got potential inverted cup and handle up here. You've got the potential for a descending triangle eventually. I would think 2400-ish would be the level on a breakdown to watch for. And or, similar to February, a bullish TK recross, right? We get that, it's go time everywhere. The single most bullish signal in the cloud system, but we are weeks probably out from that potential. And again, on the BTC pair, it's no question. This remains bearish, continues to remain bearish. Barely hanging on by a thread here at 050. And there's a lot of downside, just a bottomless abyss if this does break down against BTC. Sol, the inverse of that against BTC, continues to look very good. If anything, this is a cup and handle up here. Sol will typically break down more than BTC, but then recover more, as it has this past week against Bitcoin at least, and against ETH, it's no contest, at least for now, right? This is mainly a lesson for the ETH people who've been here for a few cycles, some of them, who assumed that they solidly won the not Bitcoin layer 1 spot in the market, and that clearly isn't the case. Sol USD also looks a little bit toppy, inverted Adam and Eve, M double top, all that's possible. Triangle, bullish pennant also possible, but it needs more time. 153 would be the mean reversion target on Sol USD. Doge, just massive turbo mega chop. This may eventually play out as a head and shoulders, but it needs to finish forming the head and then form the right shoulder. So that's probably weeks out. And against Bitcoin, it tapped the Kijun a few times, got denied on the weekly. It just needs more time, flat out, to solidly say this is bullish against Bitcoin. It's going to take a lot of time post-halving, most likely. ADA on the USD pair, head and shoulders pretty clearly. Bearish TK cross today, probably breaking below the cloud. There's no bullish momentum as we sit here on most of this stuff further down the list. So your choice is always do nothing, right? Which is fine. Or take this into consideration and adjust your allocations accordingly. But this does not look bullish. The cloud will also flip bearish here within a couple days. The good news is, again, much like October, November, that breakout, that's what you want to see coming up. But that is probably weeks away. And against BTC, it's been nothing but down. Denied at the weekly cloud, denied at the weekly Kijun. Post-halving is when alts do best, and we are not post-halving. AVAX, similar to Cardano, these are all various degrees of each other's future. So AVAX is ready to experience a bearish TK cross, telling you that the momentum for the bullish side is over. And against the BTC pair, again, turbo mega, ultra chop, maybe in the next 3 to 6 months, this whole thing is going to be a mega inverted head and shoulders. Maybe, I don't know, but it doesn't look pretty against Bitcoin at the moment. SHIB, why not? Inverted Adam and Eve, descending triangle, however you want to think about that. On the USD pair, on the BTC pair, it's in the weekly cloud again. It finished its edge to edge. None of this looks bullish. Okay, you're getting a bearish breakdown today from the cloud, bearish TK cross. All of this is screaming. Even if this goes another 10x, the cloud is telling you right now, today as we sit here, the warning bells are flashing on SHIB. DOT, similar to AVAX, bearish TK cross in the cloud. DOT against BTC, flirting with new all-time lows once again. And none of this stuff over time is able to hold its value against Bitcoin. Anything can pump from 0 to 1, but it is very hard to maintain that over multiple years. And DOT, Zcash, Monero, all of these are just examples of that. Look, if it was different, I would say it was different, but it's not. So there's a reason why Bitcoin is held by most people, whereas alts are not. If you owe taxes, for instance, as I have in the past, and I have an altcoin, I'm selling that alt to pay taxes first before I sell my Bitcoin. And I think you're going to see a lot of that over the next couple of weeks. Here's Link, bearish TK cross in the cloud. And it just says, needs more time to be bullish again. There's even a bit of a kind of head and shoulders diamond toppy type thing, but it's really struggled at any sort of bullish continuation in the 20s. And Link BTC has continued to break down pretty violently. So this may also form a massive triple bottom over the next 3 to 6 months. And if you're a range trader, maybe you take a stab all the way down here, back into the falling wedge, something like that. But that is not a bullish chart whatsoever. Matic, same thing with AVAX, same thing with most of these, bearish TK cross below cloud. And against Bitcoin, it looks like it's ready for a free dive to the previous 2021 support. As a layer 1, it's got competition. As a layer 2, it's got tons of competition. And it's just a tough market for something like Matic right now. Does not look bullish. This looks, like I said, weeks and weeks and weeks ago, terrifying. Okay, this is not a bullish picture. Uni, much like Doge had a few weeks of excitement against Bitcoin, but has gotten smacked down once again. And Uni USD, to me, looks like a clear head and shoulders ready for lower. And the other issue with a lot of these alts, they just have more issuance or more unlocks or more bag holders than Bitcoin, who are just ready to sell at any 50 to 100% move. 750 to 14, 15, 16, whatever. That was it, right? That was enough for a lot of sellers to come in and say, all right, I've seen enough. That's probably what you're going to continue to see on something like Uni. Litecoin, it held the diag. It's in the weekly cloud. I know a lot of people get excited about this. Speaking of something with bag holders, it's a dead chain like most of these chains. I hate to break it to you. That doesn't mean it can't go to 350. Okay. I'm just saying, don't fool yourself here thinking, oh man, this is silver to Litecoin's gold or Bitcoin's gold. No. The monthly LTC BTC chart for the past 2 months was sitting at all-time lows. And, maybe you shoot your shot here. Certainly not something for me. But on the USD pair, it does look okay. I'll give you that. It looks better than most of these other alts on the USD pair. Near just looks a little tired up here. At this point, I said this weeks ago about a lot of these charts, the risk reward for the edge-to-edge target here versus at 3 or 4 is a lot worse because your downside is potentially sub 5, something around 450 potentially. So although this still looks bullish, it just, I think it needs more time to retrace a little bit. And against Bitcoin, it tried to close in the cloud. Eventually, this should be a good trade. Eventually, in the next 3 to 6 months. Again, you're seeing inverted head and shoulders type of price action here. So I just think it needs more time. Give it another 12 candles, and I think you'll know pretty clearly. Ideally, you get a major pullback and then another attempt at this edge to edge. But like ADA, this still could fail. This still could make lower lows. So I just think the risk reward on that isn't there at the moment. Stacks on the USD pair hit the measured move on that inverted head and shoulders, and against Bitcoin, trend-wise, it's okay. It's up above the weekly cloud, but generally it just looks like a bunch of chop to me. Filecoin on the USD pair on the weekly, still in the weekly cloud, looks okay. None of this stuff looks amazing. It just needs time. Between now and the end of the year, I think there's a shot for many of these coins to have another move higher, which may be something like a 2x on the USD pair. The BTC pair is still chopping around, right? So this doesn't encourage me to just load up on the Filecoin bags more, right? It just needs more time. I threw WIF in here because why not? To me, this just looks tired, ready to roll over. I would have said that at 2, it had a bullish TK recross. That was the entry. So that's the type of thing you're looking for on the 4-hour, much like it did at 38 cents or whatever it was, because this will likely close in the cloud with a bearish 4-hour cross. And on the Bitcoin pair, also doesn't look like a breakout or bullish continuation or anything like that. Everything just looks a little tired. On the legacy side for alts, something else to watch that I mentioned weeks ago would be ARK, which is kind of the meme stonk biotech, liquidity hungry stuff, let's just say. Okay. By the end of the year, this should be above the weekly cloud. And that's when I would think it would attempt a move higher. Rates will be down by then. The election stuff hopefully will be finished and cleared up by then. So that's when I think the best time to trade alts, including this, would be. Now, if we want to not end this video on a supremely depressing note, let's talk about something that does look decently bullish. I don't trade this stuff, haven't at the very least, but similar to alts in the crypto land, we've got cannabis stocks doing quite well. I don't really know why, but this is a cannabis ETF MSOS, mega inverted head and shoulders on that. YOLO, what a great ticker name. Also in the weekly cloud, double bottom. Tilray, triple bottom, multi-year chop, also looks very good. And SNDL, which I think is another cannabis stock, individual name, also doing very well. So there are things to trade out there that are alternatives, just not maybe altcoins per se. If you've got any rationale as to why those are doing well, you can let me know in the comments. And then lastly, I'll just mention I do a live stream every Thursday on YouTube. Those are immediately available as a recording. After I finish, it's under the live section here in the channel. Come hang out. We can talk about whatever chart you want to talk about. That's all I got for this one. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, and happy trading.